What's shaking, Chewy Nation? ChewbaccaLemma here, back with another Madden 19 Ultimate Team video. Today, we're doing the house rules. We did it on stream, and then at the end, we're going to show you what we pulled in our pack. It is a fantasy pack. You get a 97 overall combine player that is an AT, and then if the second half of house rules, which will be Wednesday, Thursday, you get a 97 overall MVP. As I say, combine for the first, MVP for the second part, and then if you do both, you get an auctionable, I think, it looks like it's auctionable, full Ultimate Legend, as long as you do both house rule events with 10 wins. So, I want to go ahead and talk about what I'm doing at the beginning. So, Zach there, he offered, he said, we end up doing, I think I ended up playing 5, and he ended up playing 5, and I would highly recommend doing this overall, as going into the game, somebody quitting, as long as you don't go back into the event, you get the win. I know many of you probably know that, but some of you may not. So all you really need is somebody to join and then quit. And honestly, I would highly recommend, as I go ahead and snag this John Johnson here, I'm sniping as he's doing it. I would highly recommend one of you quitting anyway. It just makes the solos go by much faster. For me, it took about 12 to 13 minutes if I played perfectly. Maybe a little bit longer, 14, 15, you know, if something weird happens. But overall, so you get the win. You see, we got a couple wins just from him doing them. He went ahead and played them for us, and as long as you don't go back into this screen, you'll be good until they're done. Now, you need them to know. You need to know when they're done. So whether they message you or you tell them, hey, I finished. But I would highly recommend doing that because it just makes it easier for both players. For me, I can go through much faster if it's just me. I know exactly what I'm doing on offense and defense on solos. So he quit out, and then I go ahead and run the show from there, and then he gets the win as long as he doesn't go back into the event. So we only end up playing, each of us end up playing 5 games, I believe. I think he may have played 6, but I think we both played 5. So he went and got lunch, and I was streaming. I'm like, okay, I'll go and do that. I was sniping, he was doing them, and we ended up getting all 10 done by only playing 5, which is pretty good. Thank you, EA, for not patching that. Maybe they're not sure how, but that was, we're definitely taking advantage of that. So I would recommend it. Find somebody, even if it's just, you know, to be like, just to make your life easier. I would also recommend, if they're not willing to quit, like if you're going to have to get randoms, you don't have somebody else to play with or something, I would recommend picking offense going into the event, because if you don't have a good offense, if you're not chewing clock and stuff, I noticed in the stream people are like, you're not even chewing clock. If you play with somebody that doesn't know how to play solos, the game's going to take forever, and you may end up losing if they're really bad, so against the CPU. So that's obviously could be really frustrating. So I would recommend picking offense if you're going to go up against randoms. That's my recommendation. Also, since it is a full game, a lot of times I do try to get 7 instead of 3. I do get 3, I think, in a game or two, but generally if I'm there at the inside the 4, I come out in inside zone in my gun tray Y flex, and then I audible to pass play and just run a slant. Is a guaranteed touchdown pretty much. So that's how it's quick, it's easy. There's other ways to get 2 point, guaranteed against the CPU, but that's what I do. As long as you come out and run first with 3 wide receivers or less, they'll come out in goal line. I think that's 100% the case, and then you can audible to a pass and go ahead and just hit like a slant. I like that one though. It seems pretty much 100%. So that's what I'm doing on. I know this isn't a solo guide, but just a heads up. That's what I was doing because it's solos. It really is. And if you do 10, you get a 97 combine player, which I still think is worth it because you're thinking. So a lot of people are like, you're taking 2.5 hours to do it, or 2 hours or whatever. If you take, let's say you take 15 minutes. So that's the longest, even with loading times. If it takes 15 minutes to do it, you got to do it 10 times. That's 150 minutes, which is 2.5 hours. Now, I believe that's to be on the higher end if you're really good at these. 2.5 hours. But if you have a friend willing to help you out, you can cut that time in half. You can each do 5. You don't have to play all 10. And now you're down to an hour 15 for a 97 overall. Then come the second house event rules event. Also, you'll notice I didn't even realize this was a snipe. It took a while. I still end up getting it, but thankfully I end up getting it. Mr. Bowles here, but I'm like, wait, is that a buy? I'm even looking it up. I had no idea that these because of scouts. People, I'm such an idiot. Sometimes I don't snipe these higher end cards. So even though I do snipe, I'm like, I had no idea. So I end up getting that. I end up making a nice like 75K on him. I show him selling later in the video, but yeah, you only put an hour 15 into these, and then if the second house event is similar to this, you would be about the same. So, and you're going to get another 97, and then if you do both of the events, 10 wins, and you don't need to win 10 in a row, even though you get the trophies for winning in a row, but you don't need 10 in a row to get the 97. So even if you lose, even if the next one is a head-to-head, Still, if you do the second one, now you get a 97 plus Ultimate Legend on top of the MVP that you're going to get from that. To me, if it's 2.5 hours total or 3 hours, I really think that's really solid. Again, maybe it's not as good as sniping. Maybe it's not as good as, you know, maybe a coin making method that you have. But for me, as you see, I didn't know that was an Odell. I'm so bad at sniping. Thankfully, I got these while Zach was doing these. That ends up selling for like 500K. So I was excited because I had no idea that he was, obviously I didn't have a clue because I would have bought him right away. But thankfully, I'm getting that Odell for what, like, what's it, like 360? But if you have a friend like, you know, Zach, or you have somebody that can do it, I know many people, you know, in stream are also, you know, getting together and working together. You can make these go really fast. Just again, remember to do the second part, because you get a 97 plus Ultimate Legend as well on top. I didn't sell it. I tried to get a little bit more out of John Johnson. I ended up selling him. I think I show that. Ended up only making about 9K off of him. So maybe it's still worth it. 9,000 coins, a lot of coins. But to me, I still think it's a lot of coins. Maybe if I knew I was only going to get 9,000, I may not even have pulled the trigger. But either way, 5-0. I think he played 4 of the first 5, and I think I played 4 of the last 5 to get us to I think he played a couple this morning as well. So he ended up getting 10-0 at 8 wins when I was at 8 wins. But either way, it's, yeah, obviously this ended up working out really well. Again, I would recommend just chewing clock, kicking your field goal or touchdown at the end of the quarter, and then running the clock out in the second. That's basically it. It's really, I mean, it's solos. Like, there's really no other way to do it. You don't want to beat the computer 40-0. Generally, I know it's like XP might be nice, but it's just not the way to do it. You just want to get these games over with, which it does make me think, generally, when that does the case, I personally, as you see Odell sell for almost 500,000 after tax, almost got 450 out of him. So that was pretty good, 90K. But I personally think like solos, like this sort of thing that nobody really likes doing, it's just to get the player. I don't think that's necessarily healthy for the game. I think it would be better if it was head-to-head, and I do think there's a good chance the second part will be head-to-head. I know a lot of people will disagree with me because it makes it more difficult, but to me, it's way more fun playing head-to-head. What's the point of all this? What's the point of the team? What's the point of everything? I do like building my team, but what's the point if you don't play against other people? So I don't really know if it's necessarily the best idea to make it, as you see, are we 9-0 right now? To make it, I think I just showed us at 8-0. Now we're 9-0, and we'll go ahead and finish this out. I don't know. That's my opinion. I personally don't like the idea of, I don't mind solos in general, grinding. I don't think that's terrible, solo grinding. I don't enjoy it, but it's something that, you know, is fine. I don't hate it. But when it's something like this, I would rather it just be head-to-head. Get good rewards. You're getting these crazy rewards for beating the CPU. I mean, I would like to see this more, and they have done that with house rules, but I'd like to see this a little bit more intertwined with head-to-head than against CPUs. But, you know, as long as they mix it in enough, I think that's still fine. You see Bulls end up almost 74,000 I made on him, and we're 10-0. And there's 2 guys we want. We want Patrick Peterson or Odell Beckham Jr. We have both of them that are auctionable. If we pull either one of those, we can sell the one we have. Odell's worth a little bit more, so I guess he's a little bit better, but either one I think is good. Pat P is definitely going to stay on the team the whole year, so let's go ahead and get into it. First pull, very first one, we pull it. Odell Beckham Jr. Now, that is a fantastic pull because, like I said, I have Odell on the team, so I can sell my 500K Odell, which I just sold one for 500K. I can sell mine for 500K and then go ahead. So there's really nobody else. If Pat Pete comes up, I guess I have a decision. The reason I might go Pat Pete is because I could see myself getting rid of Odell. I don't see myself getting rid of Pat Pete this year, but end up being nothing spectacular for me. So obviously the easy choice is indeed Odell Beckham Jr. But even though it's, even if you don't pull anything crazy, I would recommend you could either re-roll, quick sell it. It costs 900 scouts. You just can quick sell it, and then you can go re-roll and try again in the store and see if you hit something. Or what I would recommend is just waiting until I think on Friday they're going to change back to training. I think they said the scouts were ending, and then you can go ahead and just quick sell it for training and use it for something else, which I have a Julio Jones chilling in my binder. That's going to probably get quick sold, and a Byron Jones, the Jones brothers, no, that are sitting. So we go ahead, we pay the 20,000 coins, get our Odell back, and we go ahead and put our NAT Odell. So I wasn't sure if I was going to power him up all the way, but now I think the decision has been made. The Madden gods say, yeah, you should go ahead and pay that training. I'm not going to do it right now. I got to get my training up. I'll probably wait like Friday or something. I'm going to go ahead and get the training necessary for Odell. So we'll get him, but we can go ahead and sell this guy, you know, for another close to 500,000 coins. So 450,000 coins coming my way after tax. I would say that's a pretty good way to spend an hour 15. That's about what it was. I spent an hour 15 to get 450,000 coins for me. I know that's not everybody. I happen to already have Odell. That's why. But for me, it was a 450,000 coin profit by playing the event. Ended up pulling, as you see, John Johnson ended up pulling Odell. Obviously, worst case scenario, you know, you get a great 97. I highly recommend. I know there's a lot of people that don't have God squads. It's a very good event for you guys. You're just playing against a CPU. A 97 can definitely help your team. And again, if you don't like it, you can re-roll, though. Then you're taking stuff out of your pocket, and you could be re-rolling and end up losing coins out of it by simply quick selling it and then just trying to get a better one at the cost of 900 scouts every time you do it. I think it's 900. So what do you guys think overall of the event this week? Again, we have a second event, so there's actually 2 events. This was the first one. I want to know what you guys think. I know I might be in the minority because I know that my channel is basically about no money spent, grinding and stuff. So playing against the CPU is probably easier and it's going to be faster. But I just don't know if the way that they're doing this is you can grind against the CPU. It will be easy, but do you want to do, like, to me, like, it's worth it because you're getting good rewards, but it's not fun. I mean, not many people like grinding as a CPU. I think most people don't. So that's maybe the one little hiccup I would say. But I still really like it. I think this was a great thing by EA. I put that out on Twitter. I said you got to give EA credit. This year they really have given great rewards for grinders. This is not pay to win like a lot of people say. This year has been more friendly if you play the game a lot. You put the hours in. If you just play a little bit every day, even just doing your daily stuff, you get 7,500 coins, and then you can also get, you know, you get more than that as well. You get training. You get a lot of times you get, if you just play like, you know, some solos, you get a 90 some overall as well. So I really think they've been friendly with that. That's been a highlight. Gameplay obviously not so much, but okay, so that we know that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy us pulling. Nice pull there. Thank you again to Zach for helping us get through those 10 games and only an hour and 15 spent. I think that's pretty darn good. Thank you guys so much. That's all I got. ChewbaccaLemma out.